Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm VelvettB, and thanks for joining me today for this Gamers Love Club. And it's a speed build. And we are building this in... Where are we building this? It's like Ciudad Enamorada. It does look like that, and it probably is that, in fact. It's a beautiful world. It's the world that came with Love Struck, and I am building a love club there, but it is a 30 by 20 lot. You can kind of put this lot down anywhere you like, in any world you like. It is a horizontal opposed to a vertical 30 by 20 lot though, so just keep that in mind when you are placing it, that it will go on a horizontal, what's the word I'm looking for? It'll just sit there horizontally, so just be aware of that. Anyway, this is a shell challenge. And I'm VelvettB, and we are building today, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I am a big lover of building in The Sims 4. I love gameplay as well as doing a bit of CAS. I'm not saying I'm good at any of it, but I'm saying I have fun, and I hope you guys have fun with me, and that's the whole point, right? It's having a little bit of fun, maybe chilling out, and picking up some ideas along the way, because sometimes, particularly with shells, I feel like I get super creative with the way that I build. I get a little bit adventurous because I like to change the shape of the shell. So you have this original shape of the shell, and I like to try and make it not look like that. That's kind of my goal with most shells. I admit it. I'm shameless about it. I just love to mix it up, and I think that's the challenge for me with shell challenges, is making it look like it wasn't initially that way, you know. I'm doing something really funky with the roofing as well, which I had a lot of fun with. I love the kind of domino effect of the roof. I thought that was really modern and very cool. And you'll see at the front of the nightclub, which is what we're building here. We're building a nightclub, and I actually do like some sort of faux heart roofing, but I initially didn't think that. Like, initially I had like this curve on the side, and I had it like a little bit different. So you'll see that kind of evolve as we go through. It ended up being a little bit fussy to build with, because every time I changed something remotely near that area, it would delete that roofing. So I had to eventually, I worked out, if I just pulled it out in a certain way from the front area, as long as it wasn't touching the build or the platform, then I could change things to my heart's content, and then I just put it back into place at the end of the build when I was finishing fiddling around with everything, because yeah, that was the only way I could like go and just like finish the build and build and, you know, decorate and do what I wanted to do without the roof just like constantly deleting, because that was kind of annoying. But anyway, worked out a little plan and made it all work, so I was happy. So this shell challenge is being hosted by Pretty Poison Simming. So Pretty Poison is a friend of mine, a fabulous YouTuber, and I suggest that you go check out their channel if you've got the opportunity, because they have some amazing builds. Pretty Poison is an incredible builder. I love what they do. A lot of modern stuff as well as all sorts of different kinds of builds, and very talented. So well worth your time if you haven't checked out their channel. And you know, you might learn some more building stuff along the way from them too. Because if you love my builds, you'll probably love Pretty Poison Simming's builds as well, I'd say. So that's just my little speech there about that. But let's go back to the build and check out what we're doing. So this is me. Because what happened is that I actually had a little break. I don't know, I just got interrupted by the kids, or I went to get something to eat, or I don't know what happened. But anyway, as I was doing that, it occurred to me that the front of the build, kind of like with the curve, I was just like, you know what, that's kind of the half of a heart, that sort of shape. And I was like, oh, what if I build a heart kind of entrance? And I mean, in hindsight, like, you could, in theory, like build an actual heart, like with the point going in on the bottom. In theory, you could actually do that, but it would mean that your roofing would have to be reversed, and you'd have like a flat part of the roofing coming down on the exterior, and you'd have to cover that up. So I did think about actually doing it like, so it like curved around and like a heart, but with the way that the roofing kind of goes, it was just going to be quite challenging to actually get that point happening without me having to hide like part of the bottom of the roofing. So I decided at the end, because I was going to experiment with it and just try it out with the point. But then I just thought about how physically you could do that in The Sims. And that was the only way I could really think about how to make that work. And it was just going to require, yeah, like a whole lot of like hiding the bottom of the thing, which is possible. Could have gone that route. But I decided to just stick with this kind of larger entrance here and just, just kind of the top half of the heart shape, which I think is cool. So I'm using or thinking about things that actually glow in the dark as well, or have like a light to them. So I'm using the fencing there, and that's from Get Famous. So that actually lights up at night time. And the columns that I'm using are from, I believe, Get Together. And again, they light up at night time as well. So I am conscious of the fact that this is going to be a nightclub, and night being one of the operative words in a nightclub. This isn't just going to be a nightclub though. This is going to be a gamer's love club. So because I thought about what I wanted to build before I built it. I don't always do that. I'm being really honest. Sometimes I just go for it. Like, I'll have a vague idea as to what I'm building if it's a residential or something like that. Yeah, I would say I generally vaguely kind of know what I'm doing when I start a build, because otherwise I'll be just like, what am I doing? La la la. Anyway, yeah, a vague idea as to what I'm doing. But in this case, I actually had a specific idea that I wanted, because I thought about the shell challenge and what did I want to build, and I was like, because the whole shell challenge is about romance, and it's for Valentine's Day. So yeah, that whole idea of romance, something romantic, something that represented love. And I was just thinking about, myself and my husband, and, one of the shared loves that we have. And, like, a really cool date night might be actually going out and doing some gaming together. That could be actually really fun. So I thought, well, my husband and I are both gamers. And I imagine there's lots of other couples out there that are both gamers and, that going out and doing some gaming. I mean, the fact that you're leaving the house for starters. Lols. But you know what I'm saying. Like, if you are actually going to leave the house, what is going to be more fun than actually doing like a couple's gaming night? Going to a fun place, a fun club, and there's like some fun music, and like, maybe you're playing like a different platform than what you normally would, or different games that, you might not normally have access to, or I don't know, something like that. So I was just thinking, what's a romantic night out for gamers? And I was like a gamer's love club. That sounds perfect. So I did debate what kind of lot it would be, whether or not it would be a lounge, karaoke bar, that sort of thing. I just felt like a nightclub really kind of suited what I wanted to do the best, like, so we've got a bar and we've got like some gaming areas and a dance. Do I have a dance floor? No, I don't think I've got a dance floor. I've got a giant TV and a bathroom area. I was able to, with a minimum of other distractions, create a really cool gaming love club with a nightclub lot. Because sometimes with the community lots you have to have certain things in place. So yeah, I felt like that the items that were required in the build with a nightclub really suited best what I wanted to have in the game. So yeah, does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm slowly shaping up the rest of the exterior. So I wanted to have, because it is a love club and a gamer's love club at that, I wanted to have some little romantic areas. So I'm just using the little divider there that comes with, I think that's Get Famous, and the Love Hub chair that came with Love Struck. I think it's an unlocked item, I think. But anyway, if it is a locked item, you just need the unlock entitlements cheat, and you can access that. So yeah, the Love Hub seat. And I just thought, we'd have some little items or little areas around the place that, would be quite romantic for couples just to sit there and spend some time together. So it's not just about the gaming, although that's a big part of the club. It's also about, little romantic nooks, and just say, you're having a break from the gaming, because, you can't just sit there at the gaming desk or whatever the whole time. You gotta get up and stretch and maybe, do something else. So maybe you jump in the hot tub or snuggle on the seating, or there's going to be a picnic area. Maybe you have like a little snack in the picnic area, you know, that sort of thing. Maybe you have a drink at the bar. So you got plenty of options there. So just thinking about little romantic touches and things with like in a red theme, because I've just sort of themed it sort of red and pink, reds and pinks, and you know, that sort of thing. So I love that little, what's the best way to put that, love heart sort of confetti, rose petals love heart confetti. It's rose petals. Anyway, the rose petals, they come with the City Living pack, and they were absolutely perfect in this instance. I believe they are for the romance festival, right? I'm pretty sure that's sprinkled all over the place in the romance festival. Anyway, handy for builds where you're going to be doing like little romantic rooms and that sort of thing. You can kind of sprinkle that in different places. And I'm using kind of red plants around the place, you know, all the red sort of roses, because, you know, romance, roses, they go hand in hand. One of the more popular gifts for Valentine's Day is the old rose. And this is my little picnic area. So just doing some of the debug stone as the path going over to that, and then I think I'm going to create a little fountain area as well. Those debug stones are actually really useful if you don't want to use the only other real I mean, there's the odd but it's thing, but the main stone that I can think of that you can get is from the Riviera Retreat Kit. This is actually also a limited pack build, by the way. So this is Life and Death, Love Struck, For Rent, Growing Together, High School Years, Cottage Living, Snowy Escape, Eco Lifestyle, Discover University, Island Living, Get Famous, Seasons, City Living, Get Together and Get to Work. So basically most of the EPs, no game packs, no stuff packs, and only one kit, which is the Comfy Gamer kit, obviously, because that kit is amazing for gaming stuff. So if you are interested in getting that from the gallery, it is limited packs, just the one kit as well as the EPs. So no game packs, no stuff packs in this build. That was a deliberate choice. I did deliberately make sure that I kept this in as a limited pack build, just to make it accessible for people, you know. I don't know, the most accessible thing to do is to do, you know, like base game and that sort of thing, but there was certain things that I wanted in this build and I needed the EPs for that, you know, particularly like the glowing stuff, and obviously the Comfy Gamer kit stuff, where with all the gaming bits and pieces, you know, I just wanted to have all of those around the place. And it definitely was inspired by the Comfy Gamer kit and the items that we got from that kit. You can see here that I'm also altering the lighting color, so I'm changing that to red on the exterior, so just adds to that sort of romantic glow around the place. And if you aren't aware, you can actually just change the color of lighting in the game, so that is a feature that you can do. You just need to basically, what do I normally do? Shift click. So it's either going to copy or it's going to bring up the lighting option. I always bring it up by accident, to be honest. But you can actually change it as well. And I think I'm just using the lighting strips, yes I am, from High School Years, just along the edge there. So, you know, just to glow up the building a little bit. The wallpaper that I'm using on the outside is actually from Love Struck. So it's kind of that skin print, snake skin print. Yes, that's the word. Snake skin print style wallpaper in the white that came with Love Struck, and I just felt like, you know, for a nightclub, it's actually quite a cool exterior wallpaper. It's quite funky, and I thought, you know what, that actually kind of looks pretty cool, so I went with that. I don't know, I mean, you tell me guys, but is this like, and I sort of built this and I was like, oh my god, did I go like too weird? Did I go insane on this? Like, did I go too far? I don't know the answer. It's had a few downloads, so I think people might like it, but I did question the fact that maybe I had got insane when I built this. So, I don't know, who knows. I liked it, but yeah, did I go too far? I don't know. Maybe I did. Those lighting panels as well, I think they're from, oh shoot, what are they from? I think they might be Get Together as well. I could be wrong on that. I just can't quite remember. I don't think I've really used them much before. Not maybe once or twice, but yeah, then they were kind of like a thing that I kind of overlook a lot. So when I saw them there, I was like, oh, you know what? Actually, they might be quite perfect for this build. So I got in there and I used them, and it was great. I just kind of made like a giant rose couch and put benches on there. I don't know. It was just seemed like a good idea at the time. And I was like, oh, you know what? I can make some giant like rose vases as well. So I did that too. So this is just, yeah, it's possibly insane, but possibly also a good build. I don't know. It could go either way, really, couldn't it? So I'm just using these ceiling lights that come with R.LUM.R. So R.LUM.R has like these wall lights, these little starlight kind of wall lights and ceiling lights. I'm using the ceiling light version. So that helps light the build. This is just me deciding where on earth those stairs are going to go. And those stairs actually have light up little panels on them as well. And they're also from Get Together. So they're really good for any kind of club, karaoke bar, you know, that sort of thing where your Sims were probably going to go to them at night time. And you want things that glow up. So there's like these pillars and those stairs that work really nicely. And the Get Famous fences are fantastic. Just, you know, really easy ways to glow up your build. So I'm just building the bathrooms at the moment, as well as I did like a supply closet slash water heater closet, and I thought, well, the supply closet could be a place where they could woohoo as well. So kind of just like a sneaky little woohoo area that they could sneak off to if they were, you know, of the mind too. And yeah, just like the bathrooms, and also what are those mirrors from? Are they from Get Famous as well, with the glowing outside of them? It's either Get Famous or... I don't think it's the Spa Day has like some glowing mirrors as well, which I didn't use, obviously, because I didn't use any game packs, so it must be Get Famous. Process of elimination there. And I'm using the City Living, I think it is, Talking John, with the life and death sinks there in the red. So just bringing in, you know, touches of the red. It's all very red and white, though it's kind of definitely my color theme with the touches of the pink around the place. Obviously with the glowing things, it's just me checking what we need in here. So that is, again, which bar is that? Is that Get Together or Get Famous? Oh gosh, no, that's Get Together, I'm pretty sure. So that's the bar there. Just adding some exterior signage as well, because it's like, oh, we need some bits and pieces around the place. But I think it all comes together. So in the kind of the idea that I was thinking of for the gaming area, because we kind of had this weird like off to the side bit. So I thought, you know what, maybe we could have like, you know how you have the gaming rigs in The Sims where they sort of stand up and they do like blick block and bits and pieces. So I thought, you know, maybe we could have an area for that where you can just kind of stand up and game. And then maybe you can have like a big TV and like the console, and, you know, maybe that's the multiplayer kind of area. And then the other area that I was kind of thinking was the computer just on the desks, basic PC kind of gaming. So I was kind of thinking console gaming, stand-up, 3D gaming, and the gaming tables as well. So that's kind of the three areas that I was thinking of. So at the moment, I'm just working on making sure that all of the things that need to be in the game for the nightclub to work are in the nightclub. Now, this room will change because I don't think I end up having tables in there. Pretty certain I don't have tables in there. I think I end up taking those out. Yeah, I do like, yeah, anyway, do something else. So that was just me working on that, and then that gets also shifted around, as you do. Just jumping around, doing different things in different parts. Oh, this is me remembering that we needed windows. I put no windows on that at all. I honestly, up to this point, I completely forgot about the windows. So I'm using the R.LUM.R windows, as well as whatever that one is, the smaller one, I can't quite remember. The larger one that I'm using is R.LUM.R, and then there was a smaller one which wasn't R.LUM.R but looked similar enough that I was like, you know what, we can get away with that. So yeah, put some windows in there. It's not often I forget windows, but that was one of the cases where it wasn't really such a focal point for me in the build that I remembered about it. It's like, whoopsies. You know, Get to Work is actually super useful for making community lots, because it has stuff like the hand sanitizer units and the, you know, the paper towels and bits and pieces. So, you know, and like little exit signs and extinguishers and, you know, little things like that. It's actually really useful for putting together community lots, just in terms of details and a little bit of realism as far as, you know, having those little features in the build. So, you know, you can sort of see the exit signs and you're like, right, that makes sense for there to be exit signs, because in a real nightclub you would expect there to be exit signs in case there's something happening, you know. Where do I run? Where do I panic to? So this is me just kind of fluffing around with how I want these little sections to work. Like, I knew in my head that I wanted 3 sections. It was just a matter of me establishing where those sections in the nightclub would go, because there was kind of 3 distinct areas. I had this main bar area here, and then I had the little area off to the side, which is kind of just random, and then we had the upstairs area. So kind of in my head, I thought the PCs on the desks would be in the upstairs area, so it was really just a matter of juggling between the other 2 things that I wanted to put in and where they were going to go. So this is me just finally establishing that I wanted to have the stand-up rigs in this little area here, so that'll develop. And I've got like that little corridor there. I did make faux walls for this. So in the initial shell, it was just like a platform kind of thing connecting them, I think. And so I just made it actually into a room by, well, not a proper room, but a pretend room, by using the Get Famous vertical slats and just lining them up close next to each other, just so they made a wall, and it looks like a proper room, and you just walk through like a little corridor. And then I made it like a little love seating in that area, so it's like a little romantic nook for couples just to hang out and have a snuggle, because, you know, you need to have a little snuggle. And so I'm making some little bar stools there, just, you know, if you're sitting there and having a few drinksies, a few nectars, then you can sit there in that little bar area and do so. So this is me just fiddling around and making the space and the stuff work. So the gaming rigs are definitely going in there, and I'm just using those little stacked rugs underneath. I thought they worked really nicely actually for that, so I was like, ooh, super stoked. So adding in a stereo to this room, because, you know, put some music on, make it a party. And then in this corner I just made like a little, it's almost like a merchandise corner, where there's a whole lot of, you know, gaming, you know, gaming accessories and little bits and pieces, just like a little pretty area really to hang out. It was like there wasn't a lot of room there, so I had to really find something. Like, I could have put like a bookshelves or something boring there, I guess, but not that bookshelves are boring, because they've got books on them and books aren't boring. But, you know, just I did something a little bit more interesting and out of the box. I made my own little shelving area, and it ended up being like super cute. But yeah, I kind of thought of it as like a little merchandise area at the end of it. So, you know, by the time I sort of finished building, I was like, you know, I feel like this is like a merchandise area where they can build, you know, maybe buy some cute little items that they've seen around the place, and they're like, right, I can get that for myself. Obviously, at this point in time, we don't have split businesses, and this isn't a split room or anything where you could turn this into a shop, but that was the idea behind it. So little bits and pieces and little pretty bits of merchandise is basically what just goes there. It's decorative and maybe something you can buy your sweetheart, because, you know, it's all about romance in here, in the gaming world. So it might not be romantic to other people, but it's romantic to gamers. Like, oh, you're getting me this lovely controller. And it's like, oh, as you do. Not that I've totally bought my husband a controllers before for different reasons, and he's totally like, you know, he wants it. It's a gift that he wants, so, you know, why not buy him something he likes? So coming to, I guess, oh yeah, I was working out the curtains, trying to find a curtain I wanted in here. Not that you really needed a curtain in a nightclub, but I don't know, I just kind of felt like the windows needed something on the inside, just a bit of decoration. And then, so this, by the logic or the process of elimination, ended up being my little console kind of multi-gamer area. It's me like, can I raise them up? Will it sit there? No, I have to use a cube, slide it across. Wishful thinking. So this is kind of, yeah, the multiplayer zone. So, you know, it's got the console there. People can come in and like play online and play multiplayer, blah, blah, blah. So doing lots of headphones, lots of controllers. So, you know, the idea is that those are the spares that people are using. and they can sort of stand around and do that. Although I did add some seats, but I did find that when I was playtesting this, the Sims preferred to stand around in game rather than sit down on my lovely little seats that I put in place. So I was just like, well, fine then, be like that. And just some more of the little love petals down there. You know, sometimes Sims just don't do what you want them to do. That is their way. And I think we're just about to go upstairs and finish that off. I think I decided to change up the color on one wall just to break up the white a little bit in the room. I mean, I think there's plenty of color in there, but I just kind of felt like the balance just needed a little touch more color. So that's where I went. Oh, also I went around the back there, and then I realized that I had this whole blank back area because I didn't have any windows in the bathrooms. So this is me coming up with something to put along the back, and it was difficult because the space between the foundation and the back of the wall was pretty minimal, which meant that things were kind of jumping up as I was placing them. So it was like, ugh. So it was hard actually finding something that would sit there, and it ended up those little grass boxes, and it ended up sitting there quite nicely. And then I used some more of the vertical slats from the Get Famous kit. I mean pack. It's not a kit, it's a pack. And just use some of those, and then put like a little bit of signage on top of it, and that ended up working quite nicely, although getting them to sit straight was still a little bit of a challenge. I don't know if I got it 100% straight, but there we go. Close enough. Apparently close enough for me. So, I'm adding some light switches. Not always something I remember in a build, but in this case I did. So, yay me. So this is the upstairs area, and the final area that we're going to build, which is our PC gamer area. So it kind of, in my head, I was kind of thinking like the couples will kind of like face each other on the desks. So one would sit on that side and one would sit on the other side. And there was just one single desk off by itself. And I kind of felt that that was going to be the person that was monitoring the room, you know, the employee. That's kind of the employee desk off to the side. And then just basically a case of just decorating the room with all of the things from the Comfy Gamer kit. So using like the PC, the chair, the desk, the little PC unit, and the controllers, headphones, candles. Yeah, I went hard on the Comfy Gamer kit for sure. But you know, you've got a gamer kit there. You're gonna use it when you're making a gamer love club. I mean, that seems like, you know, obvious things to me. Like, you know, you've got the desk organizer, you've got like the little neon sign, you've got the discs, you've got gaming signs. It's just like, well, I want to use all of these things. So basically this top floor is just the Comfy Gamer kit. No doubt about it. We've got like the display keyboard and all of the bits and pieces, candles. It's all going to be lit up with the candles, all, you know, the RGB lights and, you know, everything like that. It's all just going to sort of, yeah, be kind of uniform but glowing at the same time. And, you know, little couples can face each other while they're gaming and chitty chat, you know, they have their own little zone. I did think about putting dividers in there, but I felt like it would kind of cramp things up a little bit. And yeah, I mean, I could have probably taken one of the little desk nests off and like added dividers and bits and pieces, but I didn't, and I think that's fine as it is. So just adding a few more neon things around the place. Tell you what, High School Years was very helpful for this, as well as Love Struck, for the little neon hearts and little, you know, touches. But that is just about our screenshots, so I'm going to leave you guys there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.